There was a flight of stairs which I walked down carefully. I didn't want to stumble. Whoa. A damp smell permeated the air. These are the depths. Rusted machinery and uneven pillars surrounded us. Through the pillars I could see a plain, all gray and brown. Beyond the plain were buildings. It's completely different from what I expected. You were thinking it would be more savage? Yes. We send our criminals here. I thought it would be more like a prison. Same here. But this is all out in the open, not enclosed. This seems more like uncharted territory than a jail.
That only applies to this area.
Whoa, who are you? And you are? My goodness, what a name.
I'm the commander of the Hounds. My name is Saxon Brandenburg. Welcome to the prison at the end of the world.
Hounds?
Yes. I received a notice from the temple that I am to guide 2 observers.
From the temple? I retrieved my letter and read through it again. Hounds? It doesn't mention that.
Of course not. It's not the kind of organization that refined Heights society needs to know about. The primary purpose of the Hounds is the supervision and management of the prisoners sent here from the Heights. We are guards. All members were born in the Heights, myself included. We report to the temple just like the police do. There's no need for you to be on alert.
I see, but... Sir Saxon presented a tidy exterior and showed no hostility. Still, something just... He gives off that aura, right? I couldn't pinpoint the cause of my unease, so I shook my head. I understand the nature of your organization, the Hounds, now. Still, we know nothing about this place. We will stay on alert. Anything might happen. Don't drop your guard, Finn.
Roger. Ha! A valiant response. You may be a woman, but you have what it takes to be a police officer.
I may be a woman, huh? The condescension was nothing new for me, but it still made me square my shoulders and straighten my back. I'm Cyrus Testella, a rank 1 Temple police officer. This is Finn Euclase, same rank. We have come here as part of our promotion examination. Thank you for being our guide.
Well then, let us go.
Sir Saxon turned on his heel, setting off with quiet steps. Finn and I followed him side by side. We walked towards a large building visible in the distance. I assumed it was our destination. The depths. We're surrounded by a wall here, just like in the Heights. Is that...
Is something the matter?
Behind us in the wall there. Isn't that an exit? I paused, pointing in the direction of the distant wall. It surrounded the city on all sides, except for the place that looked like an opening.
That is unrelated to the observation.
What is it, then?
Entirely unrelated to your assignment. Your Highness will discover many curious things in the depths. Your assignment did not bring you here to show interest in the irrelevant rank 1 police officer.
Also, what he had said was reasonable, but that tone... I don't like being addressed sarcastically like that, but he's right. Apologies, Sir Saxon. I let curiosity get the better of me. Finn was giving me an unreadable look, and I apologized to him as well. This is part of my duties. I have to focus on the mission. I don't think anyone could blame me for being curious. It took about an hour of walking to reach our destination. It was a large building. It had been built in an oppressive architectural style and was the same shade as the dark clouds behind it. There was a large crest I didn't recognize emblazoned on it, which I assumed belonged to the Hounds. I see. This must be where you keep the criminals. Sir Saxon laughed audibly.
This is not an internment facility. It's the headquarters of the Hounds.
Headquarters. Apologies.
No offense taken. I'm sure it looks too shabby even for a prison to a temple police officer.
Shabby? I didn't...
Our situation here is rather different, but the building was made to similar plans as those in the Heights. Despite our debased status, we still harbor some pride. Then again, I'm sure it's worse than a hovel to someone used to actual temple architecture. Before we go inside, I'd like to show you where the criminals live. Please follow me.
I get a sense that he doesn't think much of us. It's making me uncomfortable. It's my fault. I insulted him and his comrades. Things are very different here to in the Heights. I need to take more care with how I speak.
This is the housing area for the criminals, the Sanctuary District.
Sanctuary District. I wonder if this long... Oops. Menu. I wonder if this long pole is the lift that we took up and down. Possibly. I considered Sir Saxon's words as I looked around.
Everyone who lives here was born in the Heights. Outside the walls that surround this district are various settlements of people native to the depths. They loathe those who come from the Heights.
Walls. Like the one we saw from the station.
Yes. They're savages, and we have our hands full with them. Unfortunately, they're too numerous to wipe out. So instead we contain the criminals within an area protected by the Hounds. This is their sanctuary. Though criminals, they are Heights-born after all.
I see. I'm very surprised to see no cells or prisons. I looked at the buildings around me. It was simply a decrepit village. The people weren't chained or shackled. There wasn't any restriction on their movements. It's like a small town. Isn't it dangerous to allow the criminals to roam?
No. They are garbage, too weak to pose a threat. Some resist. But then we dispose of them with the blade. That's all.
Sir Saxon put a hand on the hilt of his sword and gave us a wild grin. Dispose? Huh. I ignored the cruel choice of words, looking around at the Sanctuary District again. These buildings must be where they live. It didn't look like a livable area to me at all. The sky was the color of ash, everything was damp, and everything smelled. The people were let me try that again. The people were emaciated and looked at me with heavy eyes. I know that I couldn't live here. Well, why do I get the feeling we're gonna be down here some of the time? All the time. We did murder our parents, after all. There were no prison cells, but the prisoners were monitored and controlled.
I'd like to go back soon, but since we're here, I want to show you the next town as well.
Alright. Whoa! Whoa! Something crashed into me. I turned and saw a boy sitting on the ground. He'd fallen on his rump. Are you alright, boy?
Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking.
I told him it was dangerous to be unaware of his surroundings and held out my hand. Be careful that it doesn't happen again.
Yes, thank you.
The boy took my hand and stood up. Then he bowed and thanked me again. I didn't expect a child here.
The filthy spawn of criminals.
Put the sword away, sir. Aye! Sir Saxon drew his sword and sliced the flesh of the boy's arm.
Ow!
Sir Saxon?
Punishment for injuring someone from the Heights.
Injuring? He just bumped into her. I wasn't wounded. There is no injury. Please, sheathe your blade. You're bleeding. Are you okay? I took out my uniform's first aid kit and treated the boy's cut.
What are you doing? It's our job to punish criminals.
This didn't call for your sword. Besides, he's just a boy.
Age is no excuse. All are punished with equal severity. The hounds rule this area. Do not defy our authority, rank 1 police officer. Come here, you shitty brat. I'll cut your leg off to make sure you don't run like that again.
No!
Sir Saxon was their warden. If their law called for this punishment, then he was in the right. I still can't let this pass. That's my girl. Cyrus?
Wow. Why are you drawing your sword on me?
It's my job to protect the weak. I can't overlook this conduct.
I told you that the hounds rule this area. You don't seem to understand your position.
I understand it perfectly well. I serve the people of the Heights. I have no authority here. I'm following my own code of justice. It demands I protect the weak. If you stand in the way of that code, I will use my sword against you.
Huh. And to think I was groveling at your feet. You're a fool to defy me, woman. I will warn you one last time, rank 1 police officer. Sheathe your sword. Follow my orders. The hounds enforce a strict regime. I won't go easy on someone who draws a blade on me. Are you ready to lick my boots, your highness?
I should ask you the same question. I won't be the one to lose. I gestured for the boy to leave, but didn't look away from Sir Saxon. You, go home.
But...
Just go.
Okay. Thank you.
This is a duel. Stand back. Don't interfere no matter what, and don't distract him. Don't do anything that he could use as an excuse. All right. Good luck. Man. Finn? What a bro. He's like, she's got this. I'll let her handle it.
Ha! You must be pretty confident if you have time to chat. Nobody dares to defy me here. We're going to have some fun together.
You sleazy... How am I going to go about this strategically? Do I have to make choices for this fight? Because I hope not. We stood at a distance from one another, swords drawn. I could see Sir Saxon's face beyond the tip of my blade. Carrying a sword meant that he had at least some skill with it. He also knew the environment better. I was at a disadvantage. No, I shouldn't think like that. The quickest path to defeat was to doubt myself. I had to believe I could win. First, I have to find out how good he is. I'll go first! Sir Saxon lowered his blade to his chest and parried my attack without flinching. Sparks flew where the swords collided. I brought the sword around and used the momentum for another strike. Ha!
Rookie!
Sir Saxon slammed my sword aside and raised his leg to kick me in my right flank where I was now open. I barely had time to lower my stance and block his leg with my right arm. It was an improvised defense, and the shock of his kick was severe. I grimaced. My right arm! My sword arm tingled with pain. My grip was faltering. Sir Saxon sensed my weakness and brought his sword down without hesitation. Oh boy. Woo! Go, girl!
Ha! You're as weak as I thought.
Don't underestimate me. We've barely started. I can slowly feel my arm again. I just need to calm down and react.
There's nothing as boring as a sword fighter who fights according to all the rules. I'd rather be fighting the criminals. They run and run and run and run. It's all they can do. And in the end, when you catch them, you can kill them. Those that defy the hounds are punished according to our law, and we allow complete freedom in how we kill them. It's much more amusing than having to fight you.
I didn't draw my sword to amuse you. I flexed my grip on my hilt and glared at Sir Saxon. I pity the hounds for having such a barbaric commander as you, and I pity you for only finding amusement in killing.
You what?
Ha!
His eyes are whoa.
Our swords clashed again and again. The tip of my sword grazed Sir Saxon's cheek and drew a trickle of blood.
You wench!
Sir Saxon's eyes flashed with rage. Our swords clashed again. We were practically in biting range of one another. He's strong. He was pushing against my sword with all his might. It was difficult to maintain my footing. Do I move back or do I... The pressure suddenly disappeared. I caught a glint in the corner of my left eye. By the time I realized it was a short sword, the edge had already bitten into my left shoulder. Rude. Nah! The pain was incomparable to the kick I had taken earlier. Warm blood ran over my skin. I went down on one knee, startled by the pain. Cyrus!
Stand back, puppet. This is none of your business. Woman, if you apologize for defying me, I will show you mercy. However...
He kicked my sword aside.
You will have to lick my boot first.
I underestimated you. It's true. Perhaps I'm not skilled enough to beat you either way. But I won't apologize. It would be against my code.
You damn...
Sir Saxon raised his sword. What was that sound? A gun? I flinched. I'd never heard a noise like that before.
A gunshot. Who fired a gun?
Nobody answered. None of the residents dared to speak to him when he was in this state.
That's enough, Sox.
Whoa, hello.
Ines, did you just fire a gun?
The man Sir Saxon had called Ines shook his head.
No, but I came here due to the gunshot. I don't recall an order from the Heights that we're to duel the observers. Are we? That's none of your business. She drew her sword on me first. It is my business. We all serve the temple, and if the criminals see us fighting, it undermines our authority.
Sir Saxon reluctantly sheathed his sword, grumbling under his breath.
You too. Sheathe your sword.
What should I do? Sir Saxon had put away his weapon, but still glared at me with murderous intent. I decided to trust the man who had convinced Sir Saxon to back off. Very well. I'm sorry, but who are you?
My name is Ines Heinrich Heine. I'm the second in command of the Hounds.
Second in command? It makes sense that he convinced Sir Saxon to stop then, but... Sir Saxon and Sir Ines were of similar height and build, but the impression they make is completely different. It's probably because he's a dateable boyo. Cyrus, are you okay? We need to treat your wound.
Are you wounded? I see a cut on your shoulder and...
A blow to the other arm. Do you have medical facilities? Finn. Don't scold me. This is worse than you think. That wound is too serious to leave untreated. Finn took a handkerchief and deftly wrapped it around my left arm. He seemed to be correct. The handkerchief immediately turned red, which meant the wound was deeper than I thought.
I will escort you to the medical room inside the Hound's headquarters. Socks? No need. This can't be called an injury.
Sir Saxon wiped at the graze on his cheek, turned on his heel, and walked away. When he was gone, Sir Ines gave a sigh and looked at me.
Let's go, then.
Thank you. Who fired the gun? They just completely forgot about the gun after that.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Ines. Oh, who's this? Observers from the Heights.
Ines looked at me expectantly. I realized he didn't know our names. Cyrus to Stella. This is Finn Euclase.
Cyrus got into an argument with Saxon, and was injured. There is blunt force trauma on her right arm and an open wound on her left. Please take a look at it. Of course. Treating the wounded is my job, after all. I am Glissade Roselight. I work as a doctor for the Hounds. Unfortunately, we're unlikely to meet again if you're a guest from the Heights. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet you.
Huh. You seem confused.
Yes, both you and Ines are very different from Sir Saxon.
I'm just a doctor. I'm not capable of his brutality. Glissade. Whoops, I shouldn't have said that when the second-in-command was in earshot, even if it is the truth. Saxon Brandenburg leads the Hounds. He would chase his prey to the end of the earth like a hound.
A hound?
You can't oppose him here in the Sanctuary District and expect to live. You provoked someone very dangerous.
It seems like it, but Sir Saxon was about to injure a child. I can't excuse an abuse of power like that.
I see. I hope your forthright instincts won't cost you your life one day.
We can chit-chat later. Can you please tend to Cyrus's wounds now?
Oh my, I'm sorry. Please, this way. I need to dress the cut first.
Glissade smiled and untied the handkerchief. I took off half my coat to expose my arm. Glissade made small noises of appraisal. Finn leaned in. How does the wound look?
The cut is sharp and clean. It should heal neatly. If we stop the bleeding and wait a day, it should be back to normal.
See, it wasn't a big deal. Finn sighed with relief, and I lightly slapped his stomach with the back of my hand. I don't like how you keep worrying too much. I only do it because you're so indifferent about yourself. What if you'd needed a transfusion? Then I would have gotten a transfusion. But you can't.
Does your body reject transfusions? I'm sorry I'm showing so much curiosity. It's interesting to me as a doctor.
Yes, but it's really nothing dramatic. I have unusual blood. One transfusion gives me no troubles, but a second one is potentially fatal.
Potentially fatal?
Yes. I'm told that antibodies form after the first transfusion, so more transfusions can cause a rejection. I don't know how it works exactly, and I've never had a transfusion, so I don't know if it's true.
The cure could kill, eh? That's harsh.
She has different blood? What's going on with that? Is it? A wound serious enough to need a transfusion would be mortal danger anyway, wouldn't it? Besides, as I said, I've avoided them so far, so there's no cause for concern. You needn't worry about me. Finn is being fussy. I shrugged and smiled at Finn. But...
It's normal to be worried for your partner.
You too, Sir Ines?
If you don't want others to worry, then don't get hurt. Don't you agree?
Yes, that's true. Sir Saxon is strong, but if the fight had gone differently, I think I could have won. If I duel him again, I'll...
That's not what I mean. I meant that you shouldn't do something so reckless.
Oh, I see.
Having a strong moral code and wielding your sword in the name of justice is a good thing. But fighting the wrong battles and losing your life leads to nothing. All you leave behind is a grieving partner.
That's true, I suppose. I'm sorry, Finn. Cyrus, I'm just glad you understand now. I'll be a little more careful from now on. A little? Cyrus, please.
What a courageous girl you are. All right, your treatment is finished.
Thank you.
I'll arrange a change of clothes for you so that you don't have to wear a damaged uniform.
No, that won't be necessary. My overcoat is in good shape, and one has to look closely to see the damage to the uniform.
All right. It's already fairly late. You should make for the station soon.
Will there be another observation date?
No. All that's required of you is to see the sanctuary district. Then the hounds sign your permit and the observation is complete.
Oh. We were only here for such a short time.
Yes. The observation for the Rank 2 exam is merely a ritual. With Zox elsewhere, I'll sign in his place. Your permits.
Thank you. Here. We handed over our permits, which he signed with a pen from one of his uniform's pockets.
That will be enough. Let's go. I will walk you there.
Thank you. Glissade, thank you for the treatment.
Take care. Huh. You don't see interesting women like her down here very often. I'd like to see her again someday.
Well, too bad. I can't date you, Mr. Doctor. So get out of here. It was dark by the time we reached the station. I saw the sanctuary district in the distance, and beyond it the settlements of those native to the depths. I looked around, burning a scenery I didn't expect to see again into my memory. Thank you for your help today, Sir Ines.
I'm sorry Sox was being abrasive. I know that this was just promotion protocol for you, but is there something you can take away from it anyway?
Something I can take away. That the heights are a wonderful place, that I have to be stronger. I don't like any of these answers. We just got scolded for picking our battles. This is a cop-out, and the heights are not a wonderful place. I guess this is most in line with our character, so I'll pick this. I need to be stronger. Words don't mean much in the end. Deeds need to back them up. I want to be strong enough to make sure that my beliefs can persevere.
You're still young. You can become much stronger than you are now. Tread that path carefully and without haste.
I will. Thank you.
You should both get a good night's sleep. You had a long day.
We will. Thank you. We saluted Sir Ines and boarded the lift. He kept an eye on us until the doors were completely closed. I like him. We were back inside the lift. Compared to our journey down, I felt much more relaxed. Probably because we're on our way back to the heights. I let out a sigh of relief, happy that I was returning in one piece. Well, I guess the injury means I'm not entirely in one piece. The cut in my shoulder was no big deal, but the cut in the uniform was a problem. I can lie about my flesh, but the fabric? Mother will be horrified when she finds out. I haven't sewn anything since school. I hope I don't mess it up. Maybe I could ask Finn to do it. He might be better than I am. Hey, Finn, can you sew? I'm sorry. You're not good at it. Finn, sitting across, looked at me quizzically. I was at a loss. Well, he's not saying sorry he can't sew. He's like, sorry I couldn't help you and I failed as your partner. Are we misunderstanding each other? So? Oh, he must have misunderstood me after all. Look, my clothes are ripped, right? I showed him my uniform. I'm not good at sewing. I was thinking about asking you if you were decent at it. Oh, I see. I'm reasonably good at sewing, but I think a uniform should be given to a tailor. You could talk to the quartermaster. Oh, yeah! You're right. There's no reason to fix it myself. Thanks, Finn. So, why were you apologizing? I'm sorry that I didn't do anything. Didn't do anything? Yes. When you were fighting Brandenburg, when you were wounded, I didn't do anything. I'm sorry. I hate myself a little right now. I'm so sorry. Finn, don't bow to me. You did everything right. If we both fought, maybe I wouldn't have been hurt. Maybe we would have won. But it wasn't a battle of 2-on-1. It was a duel. Nobody but me and Sir Saxon could fight it. You respected my wishes. That's all I wanted. Hanging back takes courage, too. Courage? No, that's not what I just didn't do anything. I didn't move at all. Having a sword and not using it is... I mean, what's the point of having it, then? Next time, then. Next time I'm in trouble, you can fight with me, okay? Okay. I swear I'll draw my sword for you when next you need it. Thanks, Finn. I was happy that Finn was smiling again. Sir Ines was right. I don't want to make my partner sad. I was really happy to have Finn as my partner. I don't want to make him sad or have him worry. I have to change my behavior for that. Going back home. Stopping in to see management before heading home has made me rather late, hasn't it? I hope my parents aren't too worried. I bid goodnight to Finn and opened the door. I'm home. Oh, Cyrus! You're finally back! Mother? I looked at my frazzled mother in surprise and nodded. I'm sorry if you were worried. My work took longer than I thought. Yes. I was so worried. My mother, still far from calm, began to pace back and forth. This is odd. They've never been this upset before. I looked curiously at the clock on the wall. It's late, but not midnight. There had been times when I'd been even later, and they'd been exasperated, but they'd never been upset before. Mother, is something...
You're finally back.
Father.
We got a letter from the temple earlier informing us that the marriage was called off. Did something happen at work?
What? Called off? I thought of my duel with Sir Saxon. I'm like, maybe. That was in the depths. It's unrelated. Trying to think of any way that the duel could be the reason, I shook my head. No.
I've never heard of a marriage being called off. Why did they? What are the other families going to think?
Is it because we ran into the saint? Did he see something in us and called it off? Is it because she has a strong sense of justice and they're like, we can't lose her to marriage? We need her to keep working? But then she's obviously framed for her parents' murder later. So many questions. Mother, please calm down.
I can't calm down. How can you remain calm right now?
Well, the government decided my marriage. Perhaps they had a reason to decide against it.
A reason? What kind of reason?
I don't know. I'll go to the temple first thing tomorrow and ask. Please calm down.
You've had to work late today. I'm sure you're very tired. Get a good night's sleep.
My father took pity on me. Thanks, Dad. I don't want to leave my mother alone in this state, but my father will be with her. Good night, Mother. Father. I'll see you tomorrow. How strange. I'm dead tired. I placed my sword against the wall and took off my overcoat. Then I began to untie my outer garment. It was a replacement, with my own uniform handed in for mending. The buttons were in slightly different places, making my movements clumsy. I was relieved to finally get into my night clothes. Way too much happened today. It had been my first time to the depths. It was a crude world compared to the heights. I thought about the criminals that lived there and their overseers, the hounds. I would have liked to talk to my parents about it, but that wasn't the right time. My marriage, long in the process of planning, had been abruptly called off. I'm not as upset as my mother, but I assume the reason it wasn't hitting me as hard as it was her was my long-standing antipathy about it. That said, we can't really ignore it. My mother was right. Mid-tier nobility like my family had to maintain certain appearances. If word got out that our union with the Fitzgerald family was not to be, the shame might drive my mother to shut herself up in the house. At the very least, we need to find out why. A reason my mother and the world could accept, and that I could too. Tomorrow will be hell again. I wriggled down into bed and took a deep breath. After only a few inhales and exhales, I already felt like I was dissolving into the soft linen. My mind was weary. Good night.